Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boys, the No Quarter Boys. We in the building.
Sir.
Another episode, special episode of
Special.
special episode of No Quarter Radio. This one, hopefully, will be airing on both the Hino Kaga channel, YouTube channel, and the MAP channel. Just a little bit of extra content for y'all over the
Nice.
holidays.
Woo.
While everybody else is off, me and Darth are still working
Working all day,
all
overtime.
day.
We got the cup of coffee and everything.
And if you couldn't already tell by like the screenshots going by, we talking Bebop. We're talking Bebop.
Yeah, we talking that bop of the beat.
So
Let's
if you
get to
if
it.
you didn't know, if you didn't know, uh, Cowboy Bebop got a live action adaptation, and I don't know if you guys follow me or anything, but I have never, ever in my life been so neutral on something ever. Because I'm just like, this looks good, this doesn't look good. Like, this is kind of weird. This could work. Like I'm like like I've been assessing over this show since since they showed the
Trailers
trailers.
too, And you watched that trailer how many
I
times?
that first day I watched that trailer like 20 times, and I'm just like,
Like, maybe, maybe not.
but and it's only because of how big a fan I was of the original.
Mhm.
And like I think I speak for like both of us when like like the original was definitely a staple of
Right.
like that
Coming back with
classic early
yeah.
2000s 90s like anime,
Right.
like, and yeah, to be perfectly honest, it's the apex of that time as well.
Mm-hmm.
The music was incredible, all of
Right.
it in the original. Um, the
Animation was.
animation wise was amazing. The fight choreography in the show itself was just on another level
Right.
compared to anything else we've seen. And then not only that, I don't know how big of a a mecha guy you are,
Okay.
but the mechanical aspect of some of the things that were drawn, like the ships,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then
Mecha that brought it in for me.
like it was amazing. Like, and literally like like the original creator of Cowboy Bebop, he said like, hey, I want to create something different, and I absolutely do believe he succeeded in making a whole different genre that like a whole different genre of cowboy space. I don't even know what to put it under. Like it's like part space opera like Star Wars, but it's also like
Space opera. I would call it space opera.
I see. I wouldn't call it space opera.
Okay.
Like, because space opera is a space opera, like that's like your Star Wars type stuff, and like this ain't Star Wars. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's not
Like,
Star Wars, but I mean,
it,
it's based in space, space drama. I mean, was it like a space drama?
I would say like
It was space.
it was. I would say is Cowboy Bebop. Like, that is just the
Okay,
best way to put it. Man. Like, it is.
El
It's
Clasico.
own thing that you just can't class, like, you just can't classify. You can't put a finger on it. So Netflix decided to do a live action anime adaptation of it,
Right.
and all of that is just bad in one sentence most of the time. There's a stigma around that.
Okay, yeah, I take that. I take this too because not all Netflix series are bad.
No, not all Netflix series are bad. And
Yeah.
Netflix, anime wise, very hit or miss with anime, but some of the ones they do grab up, really good. Uh, but like the live action ones is it's just like you hear that and you're just like, at least me personally, I hear that and I'm just kind of like,
Well, people
whoo.
have a bad taste in their mouth, especially because we have some Netflix that they got, and they did the anime adaptations, and then they put them together, and they're like, here you go. And we're like, what is this? And there is one that we don't talk about.
That one that we don't talk about.
That one that we don't talk
We
about.
we almost like little back, so we almost had a whole fight about that joint last night.
Like it's
Cause like
what?
I was just like, wait, you talk about the Netflix one? Everybody was like, no, we don't even talk about that. I was like, oh, okay.
We just like had a little author hand, We don't talk about that, but I mean, like you said, it's hit or miss. But I mean, that's the whole business aspect. You write something, it's either going to hit or it's going to miss. So,
And like
and I
just
we have
just the
different.
legacy of this show in general, like it should hit, and like it probably is going to hit. It's probably going to hit just because people are going to watch it anyway
Okay,
because it's Cowboy Bebop.
okay,
So you know what, like we going to flip it just a little bit because like we both haven't watched the whole show. We both have watched the whole show. I think I'm a couple episodes ahead of you, but like we both passed that middle mark, and like the middle mark is definitely like a place where you could make a decent judgment on the show, right? So like just for now, and this is our opinion. We're gonna flip it a little bit because normally like you would say something like this for the end. Well, we're gonna do it right now. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give this show to Wayne?
I give this show out of a 10. I give it a 6.
A 6. Okay.
6.
Yeah. You know what? We're on the same page.
A 6.
We're on the same page. 6.
Hmm.
I feel like we still have different opinions.
Of course, yeah, of course. I know you're looking at something totally different than I am, and but again, that's good to have, like you said, two different sides of the table because, like you said, you're on the side of like
So
you're in the middle somewhere.
yeah, I'm in the
I'm a little
middle,
bit
but
higher.
I'm in the middle, but like I'm like leaning a little bit more towards the negative.
Okay.
But I want to know why you gave it this 6 score first. So
Um. So I gave it the 6 score. The first thing I looked about, of course, I'm not gonna just say like, okay, it's Cowboy Bebop. I love Cowboy Bebop. I'm a big fan. Always will be. The first thing I looked at, I'm sure you have in your little pros is the music.
absolutely,
Cowboy
yeah.
Bebop has always had one of the greatest like, and me and my parents, we were talking about this last night as far as the music. We were trying to figure out what kind of jazz was that. Was it like jazz has so many different genres, like smooth jazz, like funk jazz, but this jazz is just like it's something different about it. And me as a musician, that's the first thing that catch my eye at music. So that already had me hooked. So that was already a positive in my thing. The second thing I looked at was the costumes. My mother, she's a seamstress, and so we're looking at the
So I didn't know
costumes,
that.
and
That's what's up.
yeah. We looked at the costumes, and I showed her the original. She was like, "Wow, these look spot on." Like of course, like we have one character that doesn't really have on what she normally has on, but I like the fit.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fit. It looks good
Mm-hmm.
for the type of person, the type of figure that she has. And of
I'm a,
course, with
I'm gonna
Jet
touch on that in a little bit later.
and Jet, Jet looks, has his thing, got a scar. It's the little things for me. And I look at the environment. I look at the spaceships. It's like, oh man, the ship, the swordfish looks just like the swordfish on the anime. It looks good. So I looked at that. And the third thing was also how, you know, how quirky the characters are. Like they're trying to play the exact same role, like with the big shots. They're trying to do like and of course in the big shots they were going back and forth at one time. So those were the three things that I was really looking at, like how funny it was, the music, and the costumes, like the whole environment, like how they tried to portray the same way it looked in the anime. So those were kind of the reasons why I'm like, okay, I give this a 6. And the reason why I give it a 6 is because I haven't really finished the whole thing. So once I do, then I'll be able to give you my final score. But I'm enjoying it.
Okay. I like no, like I like, and that's I I always like it like when like when you we hit that halfway mark and you're just kind of like I'm enjoying it. I want to keep watching it. So like for me, I looked at a lot of the same stuff as well. Like I looked at the music, which like the music, what is it? Yoko Kana. I'm a butcher. It's Yoko Kano something. I'm a butcher, but it's the same person that did the original music.
Right.
So like you like the music. I already knew like just off of that like the music is going to be on point.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the uh, the costumes, the costumes are on point. Like except for Phase,
Mm-hmm.
which like everybody made like a big fuss about it. I'm not going to touch on it too long, but like everybody made a big fuss because it was just like Phase 9, her iconic costume that like she had in the that she had in the beginning, and like they're saying like well like it's kind of sexist to have her like like walking around scantily clad,
I believe
even
that
though
part alone.
even though even though like her being that sexy femme fatale is part of her character. It's
Right.
part of her character. That's what makes the character is that like she's sexy, she owns it, and she uses it to her advantage. That's what her character was in the original. It doesn't really feel like that as much in this new one. Like to me, she kind of feels like an annoying little sister, but
Kind of
she
was
was
like
kind of
that.
yeah. I was gonna say that too because I was talking to a friend of mine, and like I said like yeah like she kind of feels like an annoying little sister, and this was kind of like off of like some of the trailers that they were showing
Okay.
where like she was talking and I was just like she wasn't like that in the original anime, and my friend was like yeah like she kind of was the last time you watched Bebop, and I was like it has been a while. So I went back and I watched like 5 or 6 episodes. And I was like, yeah, no, you're right. Like she does do that, and like I think she's doing like the actress herself is like doing like a good job. In fact, I do believe the core main three characters that we see up to that middle point of the series are are generally putting a lot of effort into their roles, especially Mustafa Shakari. Cause I think he is holding the whole show together on his shoulders. He's doing an amazing job as
He
Jet
is.
Black. He is hands down like my favorite character in the show, and like
Sound just like that man.
I will watch it all the way to the end just for him.
He's
But
playing that role.
but I want to I said costumes. I kind of went on the sidebar. um, the cinematography is really good. The shots are really great. Um, the ships are pretty cool. I feel like they don't have like that same detail as the anime, but like that makes sense because it's live action and like it's I feel like it's going to take a lot of time for you to get like those close-ups on the ships where you can see like those like real big details on the outside of the ships.
Oh, yeah, like the little stickers or artwork that some of the ships used to have.
Yeah, but I do feel like they get like the inside of the ships, like the buttons and the stuff that
Yeah,
and the switches and stuff that they're flicking and like
cargo hold and all that stuff.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I do feel like they do that well.
Mhm.
My main problem right now with this show is absolutely the writing.
Okay.
And this is what's driving me crazy. As a Bebop fan, like all these episodes, they feel like we're going to take this storyline and this storyline and we're going to smash it together
Mm.
into one hour long episode. And for me, it winds up not doing justice for either of the two storylines that they're trying to smash together. And also, I have a huge problem so far anyway with Vicious and Julia.
Thank you. Okay, I wanted to make that point. Only one. That was the next point I was about to bring up.
I
Please continue.
hate their characters, and like they're trying to characterize them more, right? And the whole allure of them in the original was like you don't see them much. They're
Mhm.
kind of phantoms, but when they do pop up, they make like a big impact. Vicious feels a lot like Kylo Ren in the
Okay,
original
okay,
Star
I
Wars.
like
Like
that.
it's
I like
like the
that.
more you see him, it's just like you know this guy's off, and like Vicious is supposed to be like a
Vicious,
little yeah off and vicious. This guy just kind of seems like
like a crybaby.
whiny, and like he's like, oh, I'm not getting my way, and it's driving me crazy, like and he takes his light katana and like slashes up a panel or so. Like that didn't happen, but I'm saying like I like the parallels there. I see it, and it's like the more and more we see interactions with him, the less and less I like the character. And it's the same thing with Julia. Julia is that mystery femme fatale we
Man,
know is a big part of Spike's
past.
backstory, and it's just like the more and more the more and more we see of them,
Mhm.
the more and more I hate them.
That's how it was when I'm like when they first introduced Vicious. I'm like, yo, here we go. Like this man is here you go Vicious. Like I was like, okay. He turned around, got his katana. He sliced somebody down, and it's just like, okay. He's like, yo, go find him. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like maybe this might be the last time I see him until like a few more episodes.
Vicious is damn near in every episode. And like he just gets more and more whiny and annoying as the as the series goes on. Like I said, in my opinion, and
Mhm.
like maybe it's not fair to kind of hold them up to like the original because like this is supposed to be an adaptation. It's
Yeah,
supposed to be Christopher Yost, who's the writer, his Cowboy
vision.
Bebop, and it's
Yeah,
just
his
kind of
comic book. Ooh,
like like I said, like it's those two characters drive me crazy. Like
it's crazy you said that because like with his adaptation, and I'm watching and stuff, and they get to like certain places. I'm like, yo, this is pretty edgy. Like, and I'm trying to figure out who. I feel like his audience. He's trying to reach two different audiences. The first audience, of course, is the people who grew up with bebop. Who were fans of it. Try to keep it nostalgic, but I feel like he's also trying to reach another audience because, like, with big series that came out like Squid Game, and everybody's watching it now, and everybody's watching all these new things. A lot of Netflix series have really been super edgy. It's like whoa, and when you brought up the part with Faye not having her traditional costume because it might be sexist, it's like, well, these people just went to a whole
I, yes,
strip club, and it's like,
yes.
so so you tell me to now I don't know maybe I don't know whose idea or whose final say it was to say like fake because I thought that the original fake costume wasn't bad. She got a jacket over the shoulder with the little straps on and stuff like that. It was it's just like but me the audience I am is the nostalgia audience. So of course once I saw Spike and Jet I'm like
I was
yo
like,
they
yo,
got
like
on
they look
different
spot on, right?
yeah
And
yeah and then
and like yeah, and Vicious too. I think Vicious costume is pretty
yeah,
spot on too.
and then you saw Faye and I'm like okay maybe she's just wearing that for now, but and they showed the episode with the the terrorist environmentalists,
Yeah,
and Mother she looked just like Mother on the thing, the terrorist guys they had like the what was it
the
space rat
Ganymede sea
yeah
rat.
the Ganymede sea rat and they were acting just like the people those three guys that Spike met on the first episode, I told my dad, I was like, "Yep, these are
Yeah,
the same
there.
three guys." Like,
He was
so
planting seeds of a different kind.
Asimov looked the same.
Yeah,
Katarina.
Asimov and Katarina, like they definitely like seem like very very true to like their original selves. Like,
Mhm.
so I kind of I want to kind of talk about that a little bit too, right? So like, we met Asimov and this girl in the first episode, just like we meet him in the first episode in the original, right? So I'm looking for this fight. I'm looking like to see like all right like maybe they're going to kind of do that same fight that we had at least a recreation of that same fight that we had in the beginning, and it just wasn't there. It wasn't like that same fight, and like John Choi in general, like the way he fights, it just doesn't feel like Spike. It feels like really to me
John Choi.
it feels really stiff. And
Yeah.
I think John Choi is like a really good actor. I like John Choi.
Oh,
I
man,
like
got
him as an
ripped for this
actor.
role, bro.
Yeah, and I think he's trying his hardest to do, you know, these fights, but they just come off really stiff to me, and it's really stiff and not fluid like Spike is, cuz like Spike was, you know, like it's he was
Yeah.
a lot inspired by Bruce Lee. And like, yeah, like man, like, you know, when Spike fought, like it flowed like he flowed like water, man. Like,
When did John Choi get? Remember, he got injured, but I
yeah.
don't know when he got injured. So maybe he got injured before, and so they was like, "Hey, let's not overdo it." Because even his fight with Hakeem seemed a little lackluster, you know?
Yeah, cause oh man, like the Hakeem thing was weird, and I oh my god, I did not understand the Hakeem thing, cause Hakeem in the Hakeem episode in the original,
Mm.
um, yeah, the Hakeem episode in the original, like I think he did get plastic surgery in the original,
Oh,
but
it
like
didn't
he
last
had
that
it.
long.
No, I think he had it in that. That was what he looked like after.
Mhm.
Was like the you know, black dude with the afro, real what's the dude from the Boondocks, man?
Oh, I know you
Bushido
talking.
Brown, you know.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah,
and like you know, they
yeah.
showed him for a minute. They showed him in the like fighting Spike,
That was it
looking like that, and then they flipped him back to like the other way that you know he was
for the
looking before,
entire.
and I was just like, what was the
But Hakeem,
point? Like, what was the point? Like, why?
yeah, he was like that for the entire rest of that. Like you saw, whoever played the true Hakeem, you saw him in the front when they kept looking at the video, and then you saw him on the rooftop, and then that was it. But Hakeem, he was like running the streets, like as the true Hakeem for like half the episode. But again, this is somebody's adaptation. Maybe money was involved. Who
Yeah, I
knows?
don't know. And the other thing you touched on too, like the faith thing, and then like the strip club thing. They're like you're saying like all right, like we're like we want to respect our actor, and like you know like not have her like you know with her like bits and pieces hanging out, which I understand and I get that, and I was all for that. I was like, okay, well you're not gonna have it because you want to respect the actor, but then I
Mm-hmm.
watched that specific episode, and like
And
at the
the other
end of it, you have naked people,
Oh yeah,
women
yeah.
and men in a room, and you gunned them down. It was a whole scene that you didn't even have to put in, and you're gunning them down in slow motion, and you can see them moving around in slow motion, naked, falling on the ground, being shot. And I'm like, who was that for?
That was for all the people to understand what red eye was. Because remember, two different audiences. They're like, "What's red eye?" I had to explain to my parents like, "Red eye is a drug," and they was like, "Oh, they all are blind." Like my mom's like, "Wow, he's blind."
They
I was like,
weren't
"Oh,
all blind.
they weren't all blind."
Some of them weren't blind. Like some of them, like you could see, like there was damage to the. Actually, you
Yeah,
know, I don't think they specified.
yeah. Because like I saw one guy he had like all white eyes, so I'm thinking like, okay, well maybe
Maybe
they're
they were.
cooking.
Maybe they were all blind.
Yeah, they were cooking up the red eye, and
Cause
maybe they had to test it.
they did something like that in they did something like that in what was the name of the in Daredevil, where like
Okay.
they had a bunch of blind people like working on drugs, and like they were fully clothed, but
Not in Cowboy Bebop though.
yeah, and I was just like, well, like we're supposed to be you know respecting women, but why do we like? It was an equal. I think it was an equal amount of women and men in there, but like still, like what was that whole scene for? Like we were in a strip club like half the half the episode. I just it just felt weird, and I was just like, what are you doing like with that? It just it didn't make any sense to me personally, and I was just kind of like, man, okay.
Right.
And like
Ah,
and like the more and more I watched it, like, that was bits and pieces. Like I said, like again, like just touching back, they started smashing episodes together.
right,
I
right, right.
have specific episodes that are my favorite episodes. One of my favorite episodes is from the original is called Black Dog Serenade. Black Dog Serenade was half of episode 5.
Yes, I remember that one.
And I'm watching it. I'm like, oh man, it's about to be the Black Dog Serenade episode. Let's go. And I watched it, and I was just huh. like you could have gave Jet the whole episode,
That's
and it would have been a good episode. And the same thing with the I don't think you've got there yet, but there's a Faye centric episode that like comes a little bit later, and like you want to get to know these characters, right? Like because these are these iconic characters, and you're like kind of you're rewriting some of their stuff. Give them the whole episode. Don't smash two episodes together. Give them the whole episode. And like it just has me really shook on my absolute favorite episode of Cowboy Bebop, which is obviously going to be the season finale, which I haven't got to yet. Which my favorite episode is Ballad of Fallen Angels, and that's definitely the last episode. And like I went ahead and I read the synopsis for it, and I'm just kind of like, like,
well, there. I mean, we know if they are due for more seasons? Like, have they already been approved or?
so I think they're still in talks. It looks like it's highly probable that they are going to do a second season, but like I don't want a second season. Like, and to be perfectly honest, like once I got past five, 6, 7, where like I was struggling to watch them. Like I was watching them and I was just kind of, I was really like nitpicking apart like the episodes, and I was just kind of like, I don't want to get like this. I want to sit back and watch it, but like my critic brain is like firing on all cylinders, and it won't stop at this point. So
I mean, that's yeah, I get that. I mean, for me, I'm really enjoying it. I really like to see how people portray different characters and stuff. And of course, you can be like, oh, well, Spike wouldn't really like that. But then you start seeing like like with the Faye and Spike um, interactions and stuff like that. Like
yeah,
Faye's a,
I, let me
she's
tell you something, right? One thing that I will give this show that I love, and that I love so far. I love the chemistry between Spike, Faye, and Jet.
mm-hmm.
They work very well together, and uh it feels like actually it doesn't feel like classic Bebop, but it does feel good. I like them together. I like how they play off of each other, and like I feel like they're having fun with this, and like
Yeah.
it kind of sucks that people are blasting the show really bad. I understand why they are, because yeah, like I said, like I think some of the writing, I think the writing is kind of weak. Like especially like when they're trying to build the characters up, I just think it's kind of weak, and you have everything you need already there. Like you don't really have to rewrite much of anything.
Right.
You could just take everything from the original one,
Mm-hmm.
pop it here, and then like, but it would feel like the opening. You know what I'm saying? Like you got the iconic tank opening,
Mm-hmm.
but like it
Which
feels
I think that
stiff.
Tank opening was like, I think that was remastered too, because I was when I listened to it and then I played the older one. Not either it was remastered or just like
They changed it. They
the
changed it a
recording.
little bit
Yeah, okay.
for certain openings. Like some of
I
the
like how
openings were a little bit different.
yeah they stretched it out because I really like how they're doing like they do the beginning like the second episode, which was oh what's his name, the teddy bear bomber.
Yeah,
um Teddy, was it Teddy? Yeah, Teddy Bomber. And like how the dude hit Jet and Jet fell to the ground, and so they started playing the opening, but they looped it until it was time for them to go all into the opening. I really like how they did that.
so I
'Cause
didn't
most shows
like
don't.
that.
Really?
Yeah, I actually didn't like that. It just felt like it felt weird. Like he went down, and I'm like, you could have just he could have went down, he could have watched, he could have faded to black, and then you could have like you didn't have to play it, earlier and then
That just
keep it going, and then like it felt like they were adjusting the sound on it and everything. Like I was just like, yeah, okay, like,
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
and like
I get it.
like I said, like they changed it up a couple times. Like some of the tone of the opening changes a couple times, and then it eventually gets back to the and it eventually gets back to like the regular opening, which like I said, like the song is great, but the visuals that you see in the background, it just kind of feels like the person was just like, let's just do Tank the best that we can with what we got, and it should work because like they're not going to pay too much attention to the background. They're just going to pay attention to Tank, and it just doesn't feel the same. Funny thing, I'm gonna shout out a YouTube channel real quick, right?
Okay.
So Mother's Basement recently did a video about the Tank opening, and the original Tank opening, that is a very amazing like deep dive into what the opening was trying to convey, and how it sets the show up. And like there's certain things like in that opening that aren't in the new opening, that's weird, and like that aren't even like mentioned. Like one of the things, like if you looked at the opening, the original opening a lot, was they focus a lot on eyes, and they focus a lot on eyes in the original anime as well. And like especially like with the fact that like one of Spike's eyes in the original is fake. I don't know if it's the same way here in the new one or not, or if they just skimmed over that, because like that like imagery when it comes to like eyes and stuff just isn't there at all. And
Well,
like,
again, like this, I feel like this is
I
where
mean,
the
yeah, somebody
like
else's.
audience comes into play. Like people are just like, okay, cool. Like Cowboy Bebop, because remember, this is the first thing that you see on the Netflix thing. Is the live action, but I like what Netflix did. Netflix also said when you click on the Cowboy Bebop,
Got your
it
Cowboy
gives you
Bebop bundle
yeah, it gives you the opportunity to say,
to go back and
oh,
watch the original anime as well. Yeah,
so hopefully this is a segue for people to be like, oh man, well let me see where it came from. So I hope more people watch the original.
yeah.
I can only hope.
So, question, because
Mhm.
I do think like I do think the live action is going to get a second season, but like if the live action does well enough to get a second season, would you want them to think about doing like a second season for the anime?
No,
Same page.
I think where
Same
Cowboy
page.
Bebop left off,
That's where it should end.
anime wise, is fine. Please do not touch it. If
Leave
you're
it
gonna
alone.
touch it, please tell me you're watching just. I'm not even gonna call it a season, just the series. Just watch the original series. Do not touch the series at all. If you okay, better yet, if people want a second season of Cowboy Bebop, just watch the live adaptation. There you go.
I would say this, right.
Please don't touch that series.
I
Oh my god.
I wouldn't mind something new from Bebop, like the original Bebop anime,
Watch Redline.
if if it was in movie form. You have to get all the original people back if you can, and it has to be a prequel to the actual series.
So Spike is still in the syndicate.
I want to see a movie of the whole thing that got him to the point of leaving the syndicate.
Okay.
You're like, don't touch it. I can tell you like, don't touch it, bro. And like, I get that. Like, it's good as is. Like, even like, you know what episode I wanted to see so bad, and like, I got my hopes up because
Wait. Was it the episode in the 20s?
yes,
Like, okay.
yeah, I think it was in the 20s. I think it was in the 20s.
Those right there in the 20s.
And it would have been perfect for this series. It would have been, to be perfectly honest, it would have been a really perfect one to do before the finale of this first season.
Okay.
Do you remember the Wild Horses episode?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, like I felt like that would have been a really nice, a really goofy, Spike centric episode to like just throw in there close to the end of the season, just to like like Spike's a badass. There's always somebody around, but he also has bad luck. Like, and like that would have been like a really cool episode just to kind of throw in there like before the finale. So like just to bring us back down before
One episode I do want to see, once we all get all the characters, I want to see what's in the goddamn refrigerator episode.
that episode was so what was it? So
Name of it.
aliens inspired.
It was. But again, we gotta have all the characters. So, do we get all the characters?
Do we want to say we're not going to spoil anything further?
I think we spoiled a lot. But again, I do like it. I'm going to continue watching it. But I mean, if people want to watch other like in Cowboy Bebop inspired stuff, I mean, you got Redline. I mean, Space Dandy. We got a whole bunch of space stuff. Now there is another anime that we always talk about that doesn't really get a lot of play because it came out at the same time. Well, did it come out at the same time? I know we talked about this before.
Yeah, it came around. It came before, but like Bebop just kind of overshadowed it. And we definitely talked about that Outlaw Star.
Lost Star, man. We see you can't. I mean, I feel like you can't talk about Bebop without even kind of mentioning Outlaw Star. That's just me.
So
I'm the only one.
yeah, because I mean, like they definitely were like that weird genre of anime that Cowboy Bebop is. Outlaw Star was the same thing.
Yeah.
Like
It had different races though. Like it had different alien races. I don't think Bebop had. There were no like really. There were
no,
no alien races.
no, everything was pretty much human. Everything was humanoid.
It was just more diverse. Like and that's one thing I do like, seeing all different types of people. It was like everybody was in this thing. Because a lot of people's like, oh, some things are whitewashed and stuff. It's like, no, Cowboy Bebop. And that's one thing I like about space movies in general. You see all different types of people, all different types of just everything. So that's one thing I did like about it.
So, I got another weird one for you. Another weird
Okay.
question. So, would you want to see a live action adaptation of Outlaw Star?
No, no. I mean, no. The only live adaptation I would like to see more of, I would probably like to see a new Lupin.
I think Lupin live adaptation wise would probably be one of the easier things to do. Also, I feel like it would be really easy to mess it up though.
No, I mean, like you said, these live adaptations can be hit or miss.
I
Like we
would like
talked
to
about
see
one.
John Choi as Lupin. I, you'll think he could pull that off? I think he can pull it off.
I think you can pull it off. I mean, I rather
I
think,
don't
like
hate
you
it.
said,
I don't hate his Spike either.
I think, like you said, I think Lupin is more so his cup of tea. And I'm only saying this because of me. Only because when you say John Choi, I think of Harold.
Yeah, Harold Kumar. So, but like he's been in like
A serious role. Yeah, I remember
yeah,
he had
he's
that
been
one movie where his daughter got kidnapped.
yeah it was called
I
Waiting, I
forgot
think.
the Okay.
I think it was called Waiting or something in the nature of that. And it was one of those I think it
Taken
was
kind of.
yeah, it was one of those like well, I wouldn't say taken, but it was one of those webcam type movies that like kind of got famous around that time where like they
Okay.
shot most of it kind of like from a laptop.
Oh wow, really? Okay. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. He had to like
And
look through the.
and he was in something else like really serious right after that. I want to like now I want to look it up because I want to know. I want to know what it was.
He's a very very.
Oh
good
yeah,
actor, right?
no, he was in Star Trek. He's in the new
Oh
Star Trek
yeah.
movies. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. And he
He was
did a great job.
didn't he play he plays Sulu, right?
Yes,
with Chris Pine.
absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, he played too. Yeah,
Yeah, and he did a great job in those. Like transitioning, like from being like searching. Searching was the name of the movie. Not
oh,
waiting.
searching.
It was
Okay.
searching. Waiting is the what you call it movie. the
So I forgot about Chris Pine playing Captain Kirk. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
and
played him.
like I said, like he's a good actor, and like I said, I like his spike. I just don't like the fight choreography. I don't know why. I don't know why it's so stiff. Like if he hurt himself, I understand. Like because
Well, he did hurt himself because like that's why
yeah,
it got delayed. Right?
they definitely say he hurt himself like doing action scenes. So
It was no because
I,
there was no stuntman for him, right? It was it just all him? No, it had to be a stuntman at one point.
should have been a stunt man, but I mean I think he wanted to do some of his own stuff. Would you recast anybody? Actually, hold that thought. There's one character I kind of want to complain about a little bit
Hmm.
because like I feel like they're downplaying the character right now, and like
Okay, so
hopefully they have a better role later down the line.
let me know that character, and then I'm gonna let you know a character that we have not talked about yet
Uh,
that deserves all the credit.
Grin,
Mm.
like
Okay.
downplaying Grin, like to just kind of being like
Hostess.
yeah, like hostess and like and
Make sure you to the table.
yeah, and I'm just like where like because like Grin had two whole episodes that was like amazing. Jupiter Jazz Part 1 and 2. And you know when it's a Part 1 and 2 when Cowboy Bebop is serious, right? So, and like,
Mm.
I mean, like maybe they're going to do something with it if there's a second season, or maybe it's just something that's coming in like the next couple of episodes, because I'm like 2 episodes away from the end now. But like, Gren got downplayed. And I was just kind of like, okay. Well, what character were you?
Hey man, we not talking about Ein. Perfect casting, costumes on point. Ein's a little big though, ain't he? Nah, like
I actually thought I was like on the like
the
a
same
little
side.
smaller
Yeah,
than like
but
the live
When Faye
action.
picked him up, Faye was like dancing with Ein like this. I'm like, damn, Ein, you
I
kind of.
thought I was a little smaller than maybe I don't know. I'm not sure now.
But Ein,
I'm not sure now.
amazing.
I'm lost on now.
But yeah, man, it's a. I'm saying it's decent. I'm not gonna say it's good, but I'm saying it's decent for what it is. For what I see right now, it's decent, and I will
so
continue watching.
so how do you feel about some of the liberties that this show's kind of taking? Like for instance, like Jet's daughter and family situation.
Now, was it okay? So that's one thing I was kind of like mixed up about. It was like that, right?
See that I was looking into that last night, and I'm not sure. Like I know they had an episode where somebody was claiming to be his daughter, but we didn't know. We weren't sure.
Okay, I'm just saying to myself. I'm like, I was watching the part. He's bringing Iron. He's like, oh, I got something better than a dog. Come on, come on, come on. And I'm like, hmm. I was like, I don't remember
Like, yeah,
this.
I do think it's like a liberty that they kind of added on to
Mm,
like the live action adaptation, and I like it. It's not bad.
yeah,
It's not it's adding a little bit more to Jet, and
like you said.
as long as you don't like mess up his character, I'm cool because like
I
I
don't think
said
you can
again,
mess up.
Jet's like my favorite character in this series
I
right
don't think you
now.
can mess up Jet right now. Like Jet, like you said, he's been holding the glue together. He's been holding Spike together.
And I
What
mean
was it?
that's what Jet did.
Yeah, yeah. I like that part. He was like, what was that one part? They were in the church, and like he was talking to Spike as like Spike was like using the bathroom, and then the assassin came out was trying to fight Spike, and then all you heard was the grunts and Jet. He's like, "Are you taking a dump now?" Like, I mean, it was funny. Like Jet really has, like you said, the chemistry between all three of them are like Like they've been practicing this before they even got casted. Like they all look like they've been like the best of friends before any of this happened. So, but yeah, Jet is definitely holding the whole thing together right now for me.
Like I like I said, I originally was kind of like giving Danella Danella Pendana, is it Pendana? I don't, you know what, I'm
We'll
gonna
call
say
it
Danella.
vanilla.
Like I was originally kind of like, I don't know, but as I watch it and see, like she fits in well. It doesn't feel like the same thing, but I like it. I do like it. I think she's doing a great job, and I
Yeah, she
enjoy it.
is.
And I
She is.
want to bring it, like, now that I'm kind of looking at this screen of characters here. At least on my end, like, how do you feel about Anna? That
Mm,
because we didn't see her a lot in the actually we didn't see her at all in
well,
except for like what, one or two episodes in the original.
I don't know how I feel right now. I mean, like it goes the same with like along the lines of like seeing Vicious and Julia like every 5 minutes. You know, um, I don't know. I can't
You
really
just
give it
said
a
them
name.
names, and I'm just like, bruh. Like you know what the allure of like characters like that is, because like Vicious and Julia, I kind of put in the same category as like the Joker. Like the Joker is an iconic character, and one of the few iconic characters that does not have like a definitive like origin. Like you don't really know where they came from. You get bits and pieces of it, and you don't even know if it's the truth or not.
A lot of rumors and stuff like that.
And like that I think that's what made like Julia and Vicious, like more so Vicious anyway, like great characters. Like great characters in the original. And it's just like, yeah, like the more and more I see them, it's like the more and more you're taking that luster off of them.
Because like I think the only time we would really see like Julia, like a whole full picture of Julia, is like when Spike has like
Flashback,
a flashback. Yeah, you know,
flashbacks, and the final two
sitting in the,
episodes.
yeah, and then like sitting in the chair or whatever. Like, well, Spike sitting in the chair, but yeah, like because he was looking at the picture and I was like, okay, cool. Like, I would have been fine if Spike looked at the picture, was like, you know, how's she doing? Like, and then you just see Julia. I'm like, okay, well, bam, that kind of reminds me of how he would like he'll see something. And he was like, yo, damn, Julia. But like they had like a whole conversation. Is she happy? And then you see who she's with. It's like, oh, it's Vicious, and you see how Vicious is acting. It's like, yo, what? Like, I would have been fine if Vicious didn't even talk. Like, if he was just a figure, just like, yo, don't talk to him. Like, if Vicious didn't say anything, I would have been like, yo, okay, cool, I can dig this. But this man got a whole monologue. This man's name is Vicious, but gets the way that they portray his character, he gets like so afraid. It's like, you're vicious, bro. Like, get a little vicious.
Vicious wasn't damn near afraid of nothing.
Saying like he hardly talked though, but when he did, it's like people like, yo, oh, holy crap.
Man, what my man say? Like one of the first things I think it wasn't one of the first things he said, but like one of the things that stick out, man, is just like, yo, like, what do we do with a beast that's lost his fangs? And I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Okay, yeah.
damn, what? What do we do with it?
Bro, you out of there. When somebody say that to you,
I was like,
you better hope he not talking to
all
you.
right, this life or death right here. So, and like, yeah, like, man, like he just seems like,
A little whiny for me.
like I know we know the series, but it's just like the more and more like we look at Vicious, the more and more I'm just like,
This isn't vicious at
he's
all.
definitely not gonna win. There's no way, boy. Ain't no way, boy. Ain't no fucking way, boy.
Oh man. Mm. But again, it's an adaptation, and I
And
just hope more people watch the original. That's all
so,
I can hope coming from this.
you're definitely into the end,
Yeah. I'm gonna watch the whole thing.
and
I'm not
like
even watch it
like I
just to
said,
see
go ahead.
what's left. I don't know.
So yeah, like I said, I'm struggling. I'm at 8. It's only 10 episodes. I'm gonna finish. I'm definitely gonna finish. We both gave it sixes. Do what do you think it's gonna when you finish? Are you hoping it goes up? You think it's gonna stay the same or?
Uh, the first thing that comes to my mind is it more so might stay the same. It might get a point 0.5. But we'll see. I hope it goes up. I hope it doesn't go down, but right now it's probably gonna stay 6.
I just like I said, like I don't want to bag on it too much because like if you bag on when you bag on stuff too much, like you seem like pretentious. I don't want to seem pretentious about it or anything, and I definitely don't want to be like, oh, well, I could write this better because I mean I probably can't. I could barely. I don't know my grammar that
Bruh.
well, but
Spell
but I don't know, man. Like I kind of feel like the same way as you, just in the opposite direction.
right.
Like I think like it's like for me it's probably gonna stay the same, and maybe it'll go down 0.5.
Mm, damn. That man 5 point.
So like yeah, because so like I said, like my thing is like some of the iconic episodes to me are like really important, and I feel like those should always be like those iconic episodes should always be handled like with care, and they already screwed up one, and the finale is definitely like my very favorite episode. So if like they really butcher that, like I'm gonna be like really frustrated. It's like and like that's my opinion. You know, like if you do like it, that's it's that's cool. Like do your thing. Like but like I said, it's just my opinion, and you came here to listen to our opinions, which like we appreciate. And if you disagree, hit us in the
Disagree.
comment, hit us in the comments and stuff like that. Tell us like what you think as well, and like like we'll have a hopefully a civil conversation because I'm not arguing with people on the internet.
No, we're not having to argue. It would just be a disagreement.
Okay. But so yeah, like I said, I think that's pretty much our thoughts on Cowboy Bebop. And as usual, like since we're talking anime, anything you watching right now that you just kind of want to give a shout out and tell people, yo, like go check this out.
Uh, oh, man. Um, I would say, and this is a long shot here because I don't know how. Since we're talking about space, I'm gonna keep it space related. Arya the Vampire Cosmonaut. I've been enjoying that.
I heard good things
So
about it. So
it's a little, it's a romantic. Anything you can do, I can do better type situation. so, I would say check that out.
um, I'm gonna like what is the thing I'm watching right now that
Same.
I really
Yo
want to
got yo
push.
watch yo got show every day.
I don't have a show every day this season. I've been kind of like scaling back a little bit to be perfectly honest. But I mean the first thing comes to mind is Mashoku Tensei. Like
Okay.
man, like that show is really good. Like that
You
show
always
is
talking
really
about
good. Like yeah, like once you kind of get around like a lot of the male characters being like pigs and assholes and just scum,
it.
like you realize like there's a reason for them being like that, and not like it's not excusing the stuff that they do. It's just that it's just like they did that because it's for character building later down the line that like you see, and it's really good and amazing. Like has a lot of amazing moments. Like the animation is on key. The music design is really good as well, and man, like it's really a great show. And like you're kind of missing out on like the granddaddy of isekais,
The granddaddy.
the granddaddy of isekais.
Like it.
So yeah, like I can't not push that. So but yeah, that's it. That's all we're gonna talk about today. I think maybe we'll come back and do like a little small mini episode when we both finish the series, and like we'll give like final verdicts on like the series, right? That sounds good. Yeah,
A wrap up.
yeah,
Bebop wrap up.
little Cowboy Bebop wrap up. Like, but yeah, thank you guys for checking us out. We them no Coder boys. I'm your boy Hino. I'm gonna point the right way. Yeah, I got it. That's my man Darth, man. And thanks for checking us out. You should be able to see this hopefully both on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/HinoKaga. And it should also hopefully pop up on the MAP YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/map technology. So, come check us out. Me and Darth do a lot of work with Map Technologies. Like he's one of their color commentaries. I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, and podcast champion out here. Yeah, I like you don't like that? Whatever. But yeah, we are up and out. Thanks for your time, guys. Peace.